The sound of the sea. Definitely. It's the sound of the sea. I find it really, really peaceful.
I think I have a very intimate relationship with water because I'm primarily composed of it. But I do think water is one of the great mysteries.
The sea, that black vastness, coupled with your imagination of the sea, and the fact that the sea has all these creatures that are from other planets, the vastness of the sea out there, sea monsters, and the dark. You're right against it, you know what I mean? We're right against it.
I have to say, I don't really like the idea of what's below. I find it a bit kind of like, ooh, it's like I think about how deep am I, or is there going to be kind of, you know, because I do swim quite a way out, but I have to say the further out, it's almost like testing myself or something like that. It's like, go on, like how far can you go?
You enjoy being buoyed up by it, but of course with every swell there's always a little dip at the other side, so that's something that you always have to check for and be aware of.
Oh, that's too clever for me, all of that stuff.
How is water water? It's an eternal mystery that every time I look at it, it just completely amazes me. It behaves unlike any other material that we've got on the planet. It has a property that nothing else has, which is a form of quantum coherence. But water seems to have the quantum coherence field moves outside of the molecule, and the water can be seen to be acting as a whole. And this is extraordinarily unusual.
I think it's a great medium. It supports you. It's fun. It's a beautiful environment to be in. So for me, I love water.
I don't love water. I'm scared in the water.
I was scared of the sea because it was really big, and I was really little, and it was just really huge, and it was cold, and it was unpredictable, and you'd get splashed and knocked over, and I got dumped a few times by the waves, and I didn't like that at all, not one bit, and it would all be in my eyes, and no, it wasn't very nice. But once I'd learned to swim, I was much happier, and now I always go swimming in the sea now.
I like swimming because you can lose yourself, you can be on your own, you have more space. It's nature, it's nice.
When I'm swimming on my front, I haven't still learned the technique of tilting my head to the side and taking in a breath. I take in a lot of water. That's the way it is. Seriously, I drink so much water that it is a danger to others.
Bobbing around in the sea.
I don't like bobbing around
in the sea.
Yeah, I used to like bobbing around in the sea, put it that way, when we were younger, but I don't go now, so.
I'm an excellent swimmer, and I've got loads of badges, and I've won a few competitions. I've got life-saving awards and all sorts of badges.
I'd like to have something that kind of unfold out of your nose like a periscope. Like a periscope, so that when you went swimming, you could just shoot this periscope up, and you could just get air the whole time. That would be great. It'd have to be very long though, wouldn't it? Because if you're going 20 foot down or something.
Yeah, I think so.
I have a dualistic relationship with the ocean that I'm absolutely thrilled by and energised by it, but I'm made nervous by its immensity and its depth.
When you've been down, it's really deep down in the sea, it's when you're diving, and then you come up too fast. I think you get an air bubble in your head, and it decompresses your brain.
If I go too deep, you can have a headache, or So that's the thing about diving, It's not as free as people think, I think.
I don't like the idea of being underwater for too long, but a minute is long enough for me. As long as I can hold my breath and I want to be out of there.
If you get the bends, it can be quite narcotic. You can get a kind of narcotic effect. You don't know which direction you're going in, you don't know which is up or down, you don't know how long you've been in the water, you can't regulate yourself anymore. And I think it's, it's really, really dangerous.
I've had altitude sickness, which is like the opposite, isn't it?
There's only a certain depth you can go to, isn't there, without your head exploding.
I think the sensation of lying on water and having the waves take you up and down is a very primal experience, and it's saying to me, you are tiny and insignificant, and I can sweep you away.
I've got severe motion sickness. I mean, it used to be pretty bad. I used to puke all the time, but now it's a bit better. And it's not a pleasant experience for me personally, no.
I don't like jellyfish at all. They frighten me. Don't like being stung by anything. Bees, wasps, jellyfish, any of that stuff. I don't like it.
No, there's nothing that scares me in the sea. Only the obvious floaty things which shouldn't really be there, to be honest.
I love the sea and I love swimming in the sea. I think the sea is really scary, man. It's a whole another universe in the sea, man. The sea is a big thing. All kind of things. And the thing is, actually, when you're in the sea, it's really interesting, that thing. When you kind of dive into the sea and you get in there and you go out there, you realise as a being, the being that you are, the species that you are, is you have suddenly fallen very rapidly down the food chain. You are no longer the dominant species. You are suddenly food.
I'm not afraid of anything because I gave up fear, but nothing scared me at all until somebody told me I should watch out for the sharks.
I'm okay with sharks. They have such a bad reputation. Everybody had them. I don't know why. They are quite nice.
I just don't really like the idea of feeling like even fish, which is a bit dumb because obviously they're there. The bit that I really hate is when you get that seaweed. Yeah, I suppose it is seaweed that kind of like catches around, that brown sort of like stuff like tagliatelle, but instead of that kind of like wraps itself around. That's when I get a bit freaked out, and I kind of think I'd rather be in a swimming pool.
Would be too much, could you?
If I was attacked by a shark,
Right.
I would scream.
Oh, come on.
And I'd be dead.
I don't think you could do much, could you?
Well, it depends. If he had me by the leg, I'd be able to scream and scream. But if he had me on my throat...
We were just talking about that now, that there's somebody on the news of somebody being attacked by a shark.
Crocodile.
A crocodile.
In
A
Australia.
crocodile in Australia. And I'm just going now.
Ooh. Sorry.
So I do have a real phobia about the water, don't I?
Yeah.
Which is driving everybody mad now.
I'm quite low down in the food chain because there's no. I am. You ever think about this? How many things can eat me? Loads, isn't it? And you.
I've been under a lot of pressure lately.
Yeah, I reckon there's quite a few of them roaming around the planet at the moment, and.
Well, I think just the opposite. To be honest, I don't think at this particular time aliens do not exist. Until someone comes up with the proof that they are existing.
There's a lot of proof that they exist on other planets, isn't there?
My theory is we came from another planet.
We're great beach people. But not sunburning, but not sunbathing. The bottom line is we never sunbathe.
The wind, if it's too strong, it's not so comfortable. It's, a bit cold. But today I found quite pleasant, to be quite honest. Yes, rather warmer than yesterday, I thought.
I think you just take potluck, don't you?
Little bit of a joke, isn't it?
If it rains, then we've got wet weather gear, so it doesn't really stop us.
Yeah, indeed. My wife and I holiday annually in Cornwall or Devon. My wife actually must have sea and coast on her holiday agenda, so that over the many years, even though all our holidays have been in Britain, we've only once been to a non-coastal county, which is Shropshire. We had a fine holiday there, but the need to be near the sea nevertheless draws us back time and time again.
Yes, I think we've got a lovely beach. The only problem is obviously the sea doesn't come in very often, usually it's only in twice a day, and it usually seems to be the wrong time of the day for holiday makers.
I do like swimming in the sea. I've always done it. We used to go to Cornwall, which it was nice, but it was always windy, always cold. Whereas I find this area, we always feel, you know, much better. I wouldn't mind living down there, to be quite honest.
In our own part of the world, we're extremely attached to Whitby and visited in what's called our Whitby season, which is from October to March.
Oh, the best place for rock pooling is definitely Sidmouth. Really, really, really lovely rock pools everywhere. And I was rock pooling with the little kids, and I was sort of digging around with, like, marvelling at nature. Oh, this disgusting thing, this turd fish, and it was really slovenly, and I pulled it up and I was trying to sort of marvel at it with the children. It was so disgusting. I just ended up screaming and chucking it back.
Well, you know, just pollution. I think they're a lot cleaner than they used to be, the beaches in this country. They're beginning to get their act together, I think, now. Well, they have to, don't they? There's the European regulations on beaches.
Well, the one what springs to my mind was a very, very big spillage.
Worst fear, I suppose, isn't it? If you dive in and dive.
Yeah.
You don't want to go in the water and come up with, like, oil all over you.
Yeah. It must put people off a holiday to see the state of it.
I think they get fined. I'm almost certain they do get fined. The ship owners.
We wouldn't sit next to someone that had radios blaring out and were really being loud and everything. I think if they came and sat next to us, we'd move. If we were sitting on the beach, or if they had dogs or stuff like that. We wouldn't stay there.
So coming back tomorrow, and hopefully swim again. Not doing well. I don't know what the forecast is for tomorrow, but if it's like this, we should be here. Okay. Right. Nice to speak to you anyway.
As to the finest holiday that I've had, I would probably say, paradoxically, that it was in the Lake District during the foot and mouth epidemic.
My ideal British holiday, I'd probably like a weekend sit and bake myself living by the sea.
Don't want to fight this bit.
I went fly fishing once. I caught a 7-pound blue bottle. I tried it, but I got bored, just sat there waiting for something to happen. Nothing. A bit more. I'd like a bit more activity, like than fishing. I'm not getting enough exercise. I used to go swimming, but I've not got the time to do it there. I just can't be bothered. I used to like swimming, but I've packed that in.
I've pulled a muscle.
I love everything about Christmas. I love all the Christmas decorations. It's just so sparkly and twinkly and lovely. It's really relaxing. It is. It's lovely, actually. You like the reindeer with its legs going and everything. I love them. Kids love it, man. It's lovely.
On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 7 swans swimming, milking.
I'd rather go to the doctor. The last time I did go, he thought I'd died because I hadn't been for such a long time. The big black mask. Oh. You can see it coming towards your face and the smell of the rubber. And
having all my bottom teeth filled without anaesthetic. Dentists. Just brutal. Really brutal. It's great. I love smiling. I love being happy and jovial, telling jokes, being the butt end of jokes. But hey, now I can do it with a mouthful of teeth, and I'm really looking forward to it.
That wall there, for about 3 foot up, was running with water when we moved in. And I was a long while trying to work out why. It's friendly, although we don't mix. No, ain't the right word. We don't walk in and out of each other's houses, but everybody's friendly, everybody speaks when you see them. No, I can't think of anything I really dislike about it. Yeah, I'm not going to move them all. It's too hard to work, for one thing. This is where we are. We'll finish up here. I like it anyway.
I think just on a personal level, yeah, I do prefer provide a valuable service to them, definitely. I mean, it's not necessarily painful, but sometimes it can be a bit uncomfortable, me sort of like pulling at their cheek sometimes to get right to the back of the teeth. So enjoy the end result. I think that's what they'd enjoy.
I like that feeling of like accomplishing something, but if I had a choice, I would rather not work and just have a really nice life. Yeah, I think sometimes you feel a bit like you're a slave to someone else, really.
I'd like to have a go at trying to clean an elephant's tusks.
I hate seafood. I really absolutely detest it. I did eat a fish once about 2 years ago, and I think they're disgusting.
How much am I worth? I would find it very hard to put a value on that. Do I say £1 million or do I say £10 million? At the end of the day, if you're the right person, you can buy me for 10p. I don't know if I worry about being left on the shelf, because at the end of the day, I've come through sort of many years of being on my own and having a really great time, and I think, well, if I was on my own, I'd just continue to live life, and if it was at this standard, I wouldn't have a lot to complain about. The icing on the cake would be the partner or the companion who would be there with me for the next number of years.
Yeah, I'm completely conscious of the fact that I'm actually just a cloud of potential, of which primarily water molecules. If you looked at me across time, you would see a cloud of water molecules form and momentarily become Brian and then move off again.
I can't bring myself around to thinking we came from the sea.
No, I don't think great-great-granddad was a fish.
Slimy then, wouldn't
Yeah, I'm sure that we came from the sea, most definitely, because it just seems, when I get into water, I naturally want to start frolicking, and I think that must mean that so we came out of the sea and crawled onto land for some reason. I don't know why, and it's a shame. I think it'd be great if we all went back to being aquatic.
I don't know. I think we're more likely to have originated from on land, because we haven't got we've got gills, haven't we? But maybe,
I do incline to think maybe we did start from another planet. Maybe we did come from another planet.
I'd love to see aliens or something similar on our planet. I think it'd be great to see how we kind of interact with them, whether they'd be similar to us or not very similar or something like that.
Would they be good golfers?
I don't know whether physiologically we're developing.
The only thing I can think of is that because we have such stressed lives, we're much more aware of exercising to release the stress, and so we're getting more toned bodies than we might have had.
I think we've evolved to our full potential. I think we have.
Possibly.
It's hard to...
Maybe not on an intellectual basis, because
I don't know, it's hard
more and more.
Hard to see how you can improve further, isn't it?
I regard myself as a kind of ego-driven space-time meat vehicle, and I I'm in the centre as the driver, trapped inside the folly of the monkey ego. But I accept that its limitations, but I know that the truth is that it's actually just a space-time version of a larger hyperdimensional information field.
Oh, jeez. You need to warm all those areas up, your body, and then moving on to your voice. And I start to hum a kind of then it's opening your voice and going, you know, in tooting two tutors astute, try to toot to a duke on a flute. That kind of thing, you know, it's all kind of croaking out. But it's it opens up your voice, it relaxes and strengthens your vocal cords, it warms everything up. You feel sick sometimes. But as soon as I go on stage, I think, well, this is it. I can't turn back now. I'm on. Oh, God, there comes the light. The light's going up, the light's going up. Inside, the real me is saying, oh my God, oh my God. You know, here we go. Why am I doing this? I love it when I'm doing it. I know I love it when I'm doing it, but why am I doing it? I'm glad I didn't have too much to eat. Every time I went on, I could just feel the people laughing at me. It was fantastic. That gives me such a buzz. Such a hell of a buzz.